Men who abuse their wives and children are more likely to get custody. It sounds surprising, but the only thing more surprising than it being true is how much data we have to prove this. One study looked at 60 cases of disputed custody, and what they found was, despite the fact that men were only responsible for primary care about 13% of the time, 82% of those men were awarded sole custody. And that is despite the fact that number 6, 62% of them had physically abused their spouse, and number 9, 37% had attempted to kidnap the children and prevent their spouse from having access. And what's also interesting is that neither the 37 men who abused their spouses or the 22 who had attempted to kidnap their children faced any imprisonment, fine, or custodial punishment for their behavior. However, of the women, 80% were either fined, imprisoned, or faced custodial punishment. And intimate partner violence is a common occurrence. It occurs in 25 to 50% of all disputed custody cases. And in households that have intimate partner violence, there is a 2 to 4 times greater risk of child abuse or child neglect. Another study looked at disputed cases where there was allegations of child abuse and the initial custody decision was then later overturned. And what they found is that in 60% of the cases, mothers lost complete custody to the abuser. And this is despite the fact that over 90% of that abuse was reported to CPS and that 88% of children complained of ongoing abuse after the custody decision. And that it was only on later appeal or collection of evidence that those decisions were overturned, and 88% of women then regained sole custody, with the remaining 11% allowed a joint custody schedule as much as the child wanted to visit with their abuser. And it's great those decisions got overturned, but they are the exception. Women are frequently told not to pursue allegations of abuse and to drop the matter lest they face further punishment. A Californian study of over 157 cases where child abuse was alleged, 2/3 were told not to talk about the abuse. And despite the fact that 87% of them had custody at the time of separation, once the court proceedings were done, only 31% still had custody. Over 60% then stopped reporting the abuse because they feared they would lose visitation. And that's despite the fact that 70% of the kids reported the abuse was ongoing. There's more than I can cover in a 3-minute video, so I'll drop a link to an excellent resource provided by the Leadership Council on Child Abuse and Interpersonal Violence, which links to these studies and many, many more. A huge thank you to Bad Kitty No and all of the other commenters who brought attention to this for raising awareness of this absolutely heartbreaking trend.